Hey property managers, it's Dave Borden with PMW. Today we're going to discuss lifetime value of customer. Lifetime value of customer is a number that every property management company should know. And it's going to basically give you your return on investment or ROI for any marketing campaign that you do. So a lot of customers complain about a $50, $60, $80 lead or a $300 or $400 or $500 acquisition cost, just because it may sound like a lot of money. However, if your lifetime value of customer is really high, it might very well be worth paying those kind of numbers in order to get those customers. So before we get started, there's going to be some very advanced math here. There's going to be addition, there's going to be some multiplication, and there's also going to be some division. So if you're not ready for that, I recommend you take a couple math classes first. First piece is going to be your revenue per unit, and that's just going to be the total amount of money that you make per unit, and then you're going to find an average for all your properties. So what you need to do is take your management fees are going to come in every month, but you're going to have some sporadic fees too, like lease fees and your ancillary fees like setup fees, application fees, inspection fees. But you need to take all that fee income that you make in a unit and add it up for an entire year so that you can get the management fees that happen every month, the lease fees that are sporadic, and the other fees that may happen 2 or 3 times a year. So add up all your fee income, your total fees, and then you're going to divide it by 12 months. And that's going to give you your revenue per unit per month. That's step number 1. Step number 2, you need to find the average months managed. That's the average amount of time that you manage each property that you get. Now, for this example, exclude every property that you've had for less than a year, because that's really going to throw off your calculation. Most property management companies can manage to keep their accounts for at least 1 year, and if you can't, then you have some other work you need to do before you get into this calculation. So take every account that you've had for greater than a year. If you've had a property for 20 years, that's 240 months. If you've had a property for 2 years, that's 24 months. So you're going to take all of your properties and all of the months managed for every one of those properties that you've had, and you're going to add those together. Then you're going to divide that by the number of units, and make sure you also take out your accounts under a year as well for that. And that's going to give you your average months managed. Now, revenue per unit, we usually see somewhere between $1,500, and your top companies will be in the $3,500 to $4,000 range. Average months managed, it's going to change over time. Sometimes right now people can sell their house, so they're maybe firing you and selling their house and moving on. But historically, a good average months managed is about 42 months. Okay, now that you know the revenue per unit, the average months managed, and I put these in this position for a reason, you'll see in a minute. Now you need to find out the number of units you have per customer. It's going to be very easy to do. You just take the total number of units that you manage and divide it by the number of owners that you have for those units. That's going to give you your units per customer. So now we're going to figure out whether it's worth going out and spending all this time and effort to get organic search to see how much value you get from each customer, your lifetime value. So I'm going to take you through a real world example here. Now, like I said before, the average revenue per unit is anywhere from $1,500 to about $3,500. Maybe some luxury companies might do more than that, but for our purposes, we're going to use $2,200. So in a year, you're going to get usually 1 lease fee, 12 management fees, a couple inspection fees, a couple application fees, and that's going to add up to about $2,200. Divided by 12 is going to give us $183.3 per month. Now, like I said, the average months managed is around 42, but we're going to assume that you're a pretty good property management company, and we're going to give you 48. Now, typically, you're going to have a lot of owners that manage one property. You're going to have some that own 10 or 15 or 20. We see a general average of units per customer is about 3.4. So we're going to take 3.4 So to come up with our lifetime value customer, we're going to have $183.33 per unit that we make per month, every single month, on average. We manage those properties for 48 months. And our customers have an average of 3.4 units per customer. So I'm just going to do that math really quickly in my head as I erase, and we come up with a value of $29,919.95. Now, when you're evaluating whether or not a lead is worth paying $10, $20, $30, $40, even $150, or an acquisition cost of $300, $400, $500 per lead, you have to know this number. If you know that you're going to run a pay-per-click campaign that costs you $500 to get a customer that on average manages 3.4 units and is going to make your business over the next 4 months a total of $30,000, you need to determine how much that's worth. I can assure you that in most cases, organic SEO is going to be one of your lowest cost per lead and cost per acquisition. But there is also a lot of time involved in organic SEO, so you need to take those factors into account as well. If you have any questions, please contact me at dave@kohva.com, KOHVA.com. Thanks, have a great day.